between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, why na NPP Enfanimra as their running or their flag bearer for 2028? Ubisamia is simple. They should go for Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, and I'll explain. This is why. But before that, early Congress no next year, I think it's not a good idea, because next year it will be left with 3 years more to the election. Within 3 years, a lot can happen. But so we choose flag bearer too earlier. It means that the flag bearer now we choose a flag bearer will pay. It will not be based on what Ghanaians will be looking for in 2028. Because we may choose flag bearer next year, 2026. A lot can happen. So Ghanaians might be looking for somebody with some particular qualities or some particular track record in 2028. But we choose flag bearer just next year. It means that we were to see the open and over for Seattle Ghana for so. But so we relax kakra. Now just 2 years and not even 1 year to the election. Then based on the economic conditions or the situation on the ground, 2027 and 2028, based on the situation on the ground, then ube chusu opia Ghana for pay. So that's my first reservation for the early Congress. But and a party they decide, the party they say because division is happening in their party, and the major reason why the divisions are happening in their party is because of the flag bearership rates. Into Omo believe say Omo chusua there will be peace and Ediasunjoeba. That's fine, but I disagree. Now let me go to why I think that Kennedy Ohene Agyapong should be given the nod ahead of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. 2016, President John Dramani was the president, and he lost to Akufo-Addo by 1 million votes. It means that vote difference in for 1 million, and na etoma Akufo-Addo more than Toma Mahama. 1 million. It took Mahama 8 years to recover. 1 million votes. It took Mahama 8 years to recover. Recent election na Mahama beat Bawumia over 1.6 million votes. So do your calculation. So all things being equal, it can take Bawumia more than 8 years to recover. And mind you, the reason why even Mahama was able to recover in 2024 was because a lot of people thought that Akufo-Addo's government did very, very poor. So there are a lot of people even in the NPP government who agree that 4 years in 2020 to 2024, the government of the Nana Akufo-Addo and the Bawumia government was very, very poor. That was what gave Mahama the chance. Because 2020, 4 years after that defeat in 2016, Mahama was able to recover by 500,000. Remember that the recovery is not just the presidential candidate. The recovery is also the members of parliament. It takes time. You understand? Good. That's the first one. 2, the reason why people rejected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 2024, it will still be with him till 2028. It won't change. What is the reason? The reason was that Akufo-Addo's government was very, very bad. His last 4 years government was very, very bad. And if his last 4 years government was very, very bad, people believe that Bawumia was the second in command in that government, so he can't disassociate himself. And the reason why Ghanaians rejected him that much, and you are saying that you won't listen to Ghanaians, you are bringing the same person for 2028. The only chance for Bawumia in 2028, if the NPP decide to bring him, is when the NDC and the Mahama government almost perform worse than Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Because that was what helped Mahama. Because people thought, I say Mahama did not do well, but he did better than Akufo-Addo and Bawumia in their final years. So unless the NDC government and Mahama are more worse off, and the way things are going, I don't see that. Anything can happen, but now I don't see that. So I'm thinking that don't repeat the same person Ghanaians have rejected. Don't repeat the same person unless you are praying that the NDC will backfire. 3. Osha 1.6 million difference now. Osha analysis now, and even the NPP can confirm. Majority of them are not people who did not vote for the NPP and went to vote for Mahama. So you realize that the NPP votes significantly. Nothing and Mahama vote no per se. So it means that majority of the NPP based in the party people, they were not happy. So they decided not to vote for the NPP, and same people too did not decide to vote for the NDC. So it tells you, say, the 1.6 million vote difference, the majority of them are not floating voters, but they are party people who felt aggrieved, who felt left out and who felt that the way the Akufo-Addo and the Bawumia government, so the best choice for you again now is Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, because Kennedy over the years has demonstrated that he is the party people, grassroots in the penasem. The fourth reason, even when the ministers and majority of members of parliament of the NPP who were part of the Akufo-Addo government threw all their support for Bawumia struggled even in competing for the flag bearership race against Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, who came for the first time. All the party machinery, both at the local level, at the regional level, at the national level, majority of them were supporting Bawumia because they were the government in power. And the government in power represents resources and assets and all that. Still no crano. Kennedy Ohene who gave them a showdown, gave them a run for their money. So now that they are no longer in government, ask yourself, how well would Bawumia do? So for me, the way he now I think the best choice for the NPP, if they want to go for early Congress, is Ohene Agyapong. But I know this is the reason why the party top hierarchy in paying for maintaining Bawumia. One, because the NATO ballot in the campaign, for me, team, marketing, marketing, so there is no need to change again. But if you ask me, I said that excuse will not hold because I didn't need ya. You can't change Ghanaians, but you can change Nipa now in the Bebano. And two, the reason why they would like to maintain Mahmoud Bawumia is because majority of his campaign members, they've taken positions already and they've shown loyalty towards him. So if there's a switch to Kennedy Agyapong, it means that most of these people will now have to come and realign with Kennedy Agyapong, which might be difficult for them. That's why they are trying to maintain their position. But if you ask me, it's better to be part of a winning team and you may not necessarily be the first person in a key position than to continue to remain in opposition for long. So this is what I think. Whether or not Ghanaians need Kennedy Agyapong, that's another conversation. That one, as time goes on, based on the candidate the NDC will bring and based on the candidate the NPP will bring, we will come and sit here and do the analysis. You understand? And it looks like Ghanaians are even tired of politicians because they believe that politicians are not truthful. But it comes across as if that people believe that Kennedy Agyapong is truthful. He is straightforward. He is plain. Yes, of course, he loves to insult once in a while, which somebody will say that it is not decent for a president to insult. But people believe that it is better to get a president who might not be polite and will be truthful than a president who will be polite and will not be truthful. And I think one disadvantage too with Ken is also Ken's age. That Bawumia has an advantage. Bawumia is 61, Ken is 65. So Ken is like 4 years older than Bawumia. So maybe party in if you say, maybe Bawumia, worst case scenario, if they remain in opposition for 8 years, at least by that time, with this 68, he will still be strong and fit as compared to Ken and Ibia with DBS 72. So these are things that they are looking at. But if you ask me, based on the mood and the various polls that has been conducted, and based on quantitative analysis, and based on Mahama taking 8 years to recover from a 1 million defeat, if you ask me, the best shot for the NPP for their early Congress will be Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. That is the general. You can leave your comments, you can share your views. But the choice is yours. Party delegates of the NPP won't decide who you want to bring. But this is what I think. You can leave your comments, you can share, you can like. I'm out. Justice the General. Bye-bye.